All right, man. Welcome to today's episode of Strong Men, Strong Marriages. I'm Mike Frazier, MD, and I help high achieving men have more intimate marriages. So, over the next few episodes here, we're going to be going through a presentation called Intimacy Intensive. So, it's just learning about how are you going to create a better, more intimate relationship with your wife. Physical intimacy, of course, we're going to be focusing mainly on that, but what you're going to see is it's other parts of intimacy are very important to create that physical intimacy. So today in part one, we're going to be talking about 3 mistakes that you are making right now, trying in your efforts to create more intimacy with your wife, and how they're actually getting in your way. So men usually try one of 3 main techniques to get more intimacy from their wife. Approach 1 is the Mosquito Method. Now, you may have heard this before, but we're going to review it again today. And this is really, in a way, this is all about happy wife, happy life. You try to make your wife happy, and then you're waiting and hoping that she makes you happy by having sex with you. Approach 2 is the Pout Method. I've used all of these. Approach 3 is the you owe me method. Basically, you owe me sex. Okay. So we're going to talk about each of these today and why they're an issue. So number 1 is the Mosquito Method. This is the one that a lot of high achieving guys, a lot of Christian guys grow up with this kind of mindset that, if you will just try to make the people around you happy, if you will just do nice things for them, like they're going to return the favor eventually, right? So you go around and you do nice things for your wife. So that might be you're buying her gifts. That might be you read the 5 love languages and you do all the love languages. You write her notes. You buy her gifts. You do acts of service. You're cleaning the house. You're helping with the kids. You're cleaning her car. You're doing everything you can think of for your wife. And so at first she likes it, right? And maybe early on in your marriage, your wife was like, "Wow, this guy, he's so amazing. He does all these great things for me all the time." Um, but then eventually she notices that there's something kind of problematic about the nice things you're doing for her. And that is that you're doing these things, but you expect something back. Okay. You're doing it because you expect her to give you in return for the nice things you're doing. Like, let's say you wash the dishes, right? You sort of have this look about you because your intention wasn't just to clean the dishes to do something nice for her. It was to do something nice for her so that she would in turn give you attention, appreciation, affection, or sex, right? So you clean the dishes and you're like, "Hey, honey, look, right?" You can kind of tell if you're in Mosquito Method if you do something nice and your wife doesn't see it and you are frustrated, right? You're mad. She didn't say thank you. You're kind of thinking to yourself, "Man, what's the point? Why do I even do all this for her if she doesn't even pay attention? She doesn't even notice, right?" Okay. That's how you can know you're in mosquito mode. You're not doing it for her. This is the bottom line, guys. It's selfish. It's for you. Okay. It's called mosquito because you're sucking off. You're trying to suck off attention, appreciation, affection from her. And she can sense it. She can hear that buzzing. She knows if you're doing these quote unquote nice things with an ulterior motive, right? With strings attached. If she can feel you sucking her blood, right? So again, for a while it can work, because maybe she doesn't realize it at first. She's just like, "Oh yeah, he's such a nice guy, he's so great." But eventually she notices the sucking, she notices the buzzing, and she stops giving that attention, appreciation, and affection. And so what do? You get mad, right? You get frustrated. You're like, "Well, screw that then. I'm not going to help with anything. I'm not going to do the dishes anymore. I'm not going to buy the stuff that she wants," right? And you can even explode. So that explosion looks different ways for different people. For me, when I was in this Mosquito Method for many years, right, I would be nice, be nice, be nice. And then eventually I like go to the car and just scream because I was like, "Man, I can't believe everything I'm doing for my wife. And I don't get anything back." Right. That's how I felt. And that's a good clue if you're in mosquito mode too. If you feel like the marriage is just really unbalanced, like you're doing so much for your wife, but she's not doing much for you. Okay. So that's how you can know you're in mosquito mode. Just the second part of that lets you know, right? She doesn't do anything for me. In other words, I'm expecting her to do something for me. I'm expecting her to give me attention, appreciation, affection for what I'm doing. Okay. Again, guys, this is the paradox. This is the weird thing. But if you'll do nice things for your wife without actually caring, right? When it's not about you, when you're not trying to suck something up, when you're just like, hey, look, I did this for you, that's when you are going to get a lot more attention, appreciation, and affection. But what does it take to do that? It takes you being mature and not being so needy for attention, appreciation, and affection from her. Okay. Neediness is unattractive, it's weak. Okay. That's what all of these negative approaches have in common. They're needy and they're weak. Okay. So again, going back to the mosquito method, right? You do these nice things, you hope for a good response, you don't get it, you get mad, so you explode. In extreme cases, I work with guys who've had affairs. In less extreme cases, maybe turn to pornography, maybe you just get mad and yell and scream or whatever, right? But then you feel really guilty about that. And so then you go back to doing nice things again, right? Like, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me go clean the house. Let me clean your car out. Let me buy you a nice gift, right? Um, so I remember I would buy my wife flowers, and if she wasn't like exploding with joy, I was so mad that she didn't do it, or she wouldn't put them in a vase, right? And so I'd be like, oh, she doesn't even care. What's the point? Why should I even care? Again, this was mosquito method, big time for me. Okay. All right. So that's the mosquito method. So hopefully I'm sure if you are honest with yourself, you have done this. Um, so just pay attention. Your wife knows what your intentions are. If your intention is to get something back from her, she knows it and she doesn't like it, you're being a mosquito. Okay. So here's the problem. It's immature, right? Okay. It's weak. It's needy, right? And overall, it's just totally not attractive. Okay. So when you're like, hey, look, honey, I did the dishes. Can't you tell me how great I am? Weak, needy, not attractive. Okay. Also, doesn't even ask what you want, right? You never told her, hey, I'd like to have more attention, appreciation, or whatever, right? You just kind of got mad that she didn't get it. Here's what you got to know: mosquitoes get swatted. If you're going around doing this kind of thing to your wife, you're going to get swatted. All right. So let's move on to the Pout method. So, let's say it's time for bed, right? And you want to have sex. So you look at your wife and you have this kind of look on your face like, can we please just have sex tonight? Right? We've all done it. And then she's like, oh, sorry, I have a headache. So then what do? You get in a huff, you jump out of bed, walk out of the room. Can't believe this, right? After everything I do. Again, that's kind of the mosquito method. But so, you're all in a huff. And then later she's like, okay, look, honey, I guess we can if you want. It has been a while and, whatever we can. Okay. So you have sex, but it definitely lacks passion. Okay. So people use the pout method because it's effective in a way. It's effective in that sometimes you can like guilt your wife into having sex with you because you're acting like a little baby. Okay. So guys do it because it does work occasionally. And look, it's a common method, that it's a common technique married men use, but it's not one you will ever see in a romantic comedy. Okay. I guarantee you, if you sit down and watch a romantic movie that's geared towards women, you will never see the hero of the story guilt his girlfriend or wife into having sex with him. It just won't happen. Okay. Why? Because it's just weak, right? It's again, it can get you sex, but look, it comes at a cost. She's going to be less and less interested in sex with you as time goes on. She's like, man, this guy, the heck, he's just gonna whine and act like a little baby if I don't have sex with him. Like, okay, I'll do it, I guess, but I mean, I'm not attracted to that at all. Okay, so she's less and less wanting to have sex and less attracted to you over time. Guys, what we're going for, what creates intimacy, is you being strong and attractive. Okay, that's what creates real passion and intimacy in your marriage. Okay, pout method, come on, like a baby is a person that pouts. Okay, and again, your wife will probably become more resistant to this trick as time goes on. She's going to realize, like, this is stupid. Why am I giving into this guy that's acting like a baby? Okay, last one we're going to talk about today is the you owe me method. Okay, so this can come after like the mosquito method, doing that for a long time can be part of like that explosion, right? Like, look at everything I do for you. I can't believe you won't just do this one thing. We can't have sex. No matter how important it is to me, you don't even care, right? Look at all the stuff I do for you, right? It's this kind of emotional manipulation or threatening, right? It's immature. It's emotionally immature. Um, so sometimes guys get there, right? And it's understandable. It's just not attractive. Okay. So also, if you're a Christian guy, you might have waited to just have sex with your wife, right? And so because of that, you might feel sort of like, well, I saved myself for you, so it's kind of your job now to meet my sexual needs, right? No one else is going to do it. I've kind of chosen that. And so you need to do this so that I don't have to go somewhere else to get my sexual needs fulfilled. Okay, again, this is an understandable viewpoint. It's just not very attractive. Okay, your wife doesn't like to just feel like, well, I guess I'm responsible for my husband's sexuality, right? That's not a good position for her to be in, right? I'm responsible for making sure he has enough orgasms so he doesn't go and cheat on me. Okay, that's a very uncomfortable situation for her to be in, and not one that really generates passionate intimacy. Okay, can it generate sex? It can, but it's not generating real passion and intimacy between the two of you. Okay, the other reason you might feel like you're owed sex by your wife is, look, you go to work, you pay the bills, you even help around the house on top of all that. So, hey, it it kind of like the very traditional, um, maybe way to think about marriage was, right, the husband kind of provides the financial needs and the wife provides kind of the household needs, including having sex with her husband. And that was sort of a social contract that was kind of understood for a long time. Now, as women have become more empowered, and rightly so, and in a good way, that just doesn't fly, right? And it never really did fly, right? It never really did create passion and intimacy. It was just kind of like, well, I guess I'll just have sex with my husband because that's what I'm supposed to do. But what we're looking for is real passion and intimacy in marriage, and you have to approach it a different way if you want to get that. You cannot be like, well, look, I pay the bills and all this, and I waited to have sex until marriage, so look, you owe it to me and you need to take care of this, right? That is extremely unattractive. Again, it's understandable. It's just not attractive, and it's not going to create intimacy and connection with your wife. Okay, so again, you can start to think, look, I waited to have sex, I work, I pay the bills, I do all this. The least you can do, honey, is have sex with me, right? That's the least you can do. Maybe you're even thinking to yourself, hey, other girls will be happy to trade places with you, like, you got a great life. Look at everything I provide for you, so come on, like, let's have sex, right? So again, it's common thinking. I have definitely fallen into these thinking traps many times. The problem is it's very superior, it's very entitled, and that is extremely unattractive to your wife. Okay. Look, feeling obligated to have sex with you, it's a turn off for your wife, 100%. Okay. No woman has ever felt like, oh, I have to have sex. Oh, yeah, that turns me on so much, right? No. If you're either intentionally trying to make her feel obligated to have sex with you, or if it's just kind of running in the background, right? This is why I'm pointing it out. It's a common thing for guys, especially Christian guys, to kind of think this way, that it's owed to them. It's turning your wife off big time, 100%. Okay. Entitlement, major turnoff. Okay. Yeah, you owe it to me. You owe sex to me, right? You're supposed to take care of my sexual needs. Turn off. Your wife is not interested in that. Look, here's the bottom line, guys. In a way, when you have this mindset, you're treating your wife like a prostitute. You're kind of like, okay, well, I've bought sex from you by giving you a nice house and helping with the kids and stuff like that. So you need to fulfill your side of it. Okay. Basically, you've bought things for her and now you expect her to have sex with you. That is a prostitution agreement. Okay. So you're treating her in that way. And that's why it's a super turnoff for her. Okay. Again, it's unattractive. It's overall immature. It's kind of putting her at this lower position and kind of like forcing, in a way. It's manipulative. Okay. It doesn't work. It doesn't work to create real passion. Okay. So let's review the three, problematic methods that guys use. One is the Mosquito Method. This is where you're doing nice things. I'm Mr. Nice Guy. Look at everything that's great that I do for you. But your wife knows that it's not just to be nice. It's actually selfish. It's because you want her to notice it. You want her to give you attention, appreciation, and sex. Okay. And she gets tired of that. And then you get mad because you're not getting what you want. And then you explode, right? Then you start being nice again. The Pout Method, this is where you guilt your wife into having sex with you by basically showing her it hurts her feelings when she turns you down for sex. And then there's the you owe me method, which is this domineering, like, okay, like I did, look at everything I do for you. Now you owe sex to me. I saved myself for you. I'm not going to have sex with anybody else. So you need to have sex with me to meet that need, right? Again, it's entitled, it's domineering, it's not attractive. All of these, they're weak, they're needy, they're unattractive, okay? They're also all selfish. They don't really have anything to do with her. It's all about you, right? Sure, you're doing nice things for her in the Mosquito Method, but it's not really about her. It's because you want something back. The Pout Method, that's definitely not about her. It has nothing to do with her, right? That's manipulative. You owe me method, again, nothing about her. In fact, you've even kind of thought in a way, well, you're replaceable, right? If you won't do this, I'll find someone that will, kind of thing. Think that's a turn on to your wife? It's not, okay? They're immature, they're needy, they're manipulative, and they are extremely unattractive to your wife, all of those, okay? So, and they lead to less intimacy. Like, intimacy is knowing somebody at a deep level, including sexually, right? The Mosquito Method, what are you showing your wife? You're showing you are being intimate because you're showing her that you are so needy that if she doesn't give you attention, appreciation, affection, you're going to act like a little baby, okay? The Pout Method shows that you are, again, a manipulative jerk, right? And the you owe me method just shows that you're just an entitled idiot, right? So you're being intimate, but you're showing who you really are, and you're showing your wife that you're extremely unattractive. Okay. So next week, what we're going to look at is what women are attracted to. Okay. So we've learned these. We learned it's not attractive to be needy and immature and manipulative, even though these are the methods that most guys use to try to be more intimate with their wife, to have more passion and intimacy. We understand now why they don't work. But now next week, we're going to talk about what do you need to do? Okay. What are women attracted to? What does it take to be the type of man that you can really share passion and intimacy and connection with your wife? Okay. All right. So we'll talk about that next week. Stay strong, men. We will see you in the next episode.